Aquarius 7, a child born out of an eggshell. Now, an egg represents a matrix, a field of potential, a womb of possibility, a cauldron of Ceridwen, as the Celtic people would say, within which ingredients exist and have been cooking for a long time. The egg is as a shell to protect what's going on inside. And what's going on inside is that the two things that were merged together at conception have become one and are now forming this new entity. And it's not ready for the world yet until it cracks open. At the time when the egg shell cracks, the potential for life has become life. What we're discussing here is that our species has been wrapped up in a shell. We've been protected so that we can evolve certain qualities, certain abilities, survival requirements, the first glimmering of awakening consciousness of all that is. And we've been held in this protective egg for quite some time, the history of our species. But now, right now, in this era, these few years, the cracking has occurred. The egg shell is cracked. We are no longer safe from our own capacity for self-destruction. And we are no longer safe from the possibility of being devoured by greater forces. That's what it's like to be born as a baby. And we're at that state now in human consciousness. So this is a vulnerable time for our species. And yet it's also a time of great glory. This is the birthing of the New Age. The phrase New Age has been used for the last 50 years to indicate actually a load of stoned hippies who dress colourfully and like music and come up with some extraordinary political ideas and so on and so forth. All of which is potentially meaningful, provided it's made workable in the world. And the most of it is nonsense. Most of it doesn't check out contrary beliefs and so on. It's not a religion. It doesn't have a scripture. It doesn't have a coherent, cogent message even. But it's a necessary step to go from what was thought to be true before the 60s, for example, to move towards a way of expressing our spirituality which is meaningful and workable, a pragmatic approach to life. And we won't do that. We simply have not the oomph to do that, the motivation, the desire, the clarity, the ability to pull people together. We would not be able to do that were it not for dire emergency. So dire emergency, for example, climate change, for example, soil erosion, for example, alien invasion, for example, lizards taking over the world, whatever model you want to make up in your mind for the dire emergency concept, fine, do that. The only thing that concerns us really is that we are in dire emergency. And the purpose of that is to wake us up from our sense of having been safely nurtured by an eggshell. Whatever we do, it's all right. Mummy will take after it, or will look after us. We can make plastic and throw it away anywhere. We can destroy species. We can render them extinct species that have taken millions of years to evolve. Yeah, we can do all of that. Mummy will look after us. Well, no, that time has ended. The eggshell has cracked. We don't have a mummy anymore. It's time for us to get this right, or we will be devoured. That's the message here. So, on an individual level, try and think what's happened in your life in the last few years, which feels a bit like a cracking open of an egg, of an eggshell. and find that part of you which is baby-like in terms of naivety and vulnerability, and yet hope and enthusiasm for all that could be in the world. Those are the things that are indicated by this degree. It's time for us now to wake up and grow from being babies to being responsible adults.